Next, another SegWeather video looking at your forecast for your Sunday, July 26th of 2026. We're going to go ahead and dive into the main details starting now. Starting off first and foremost with the radar this morning until it's pretty quiet, aside from a couple showers in parts of the upper plains, some of that in the deep south, and some of that across the west coast right now, and even the southwest parts of the country. But nothing too significant of note this morning, but that will change as we head into this afternoon. Now, speaking of this afternoon, we do have ongoing current watches and warnings for much of the country. The big eyesore being this large area of orange and dark pink. Those are indicative of heat advisories, which that's being in the orange, and in the dark pinks represent areas where we have the extreme heat warnings ongoing, and that'll continue throughout your day today into Monday and into Tuesday, maybe even to Wednesday for some of these areas, as we have a heat dump sitting overhead these areas, and that'll lead to those temperatures reaching as high as 100 210 with heat index values of 105 to 120 degrees. So quite a hot, steamy day, and next several days for this large portion of the country, and even the southwest portion of the country as well. We'll see that as well. Heat index values could exceed 120 in these areas, as it'll be quite hot for you guys as well. And outside of that, looking at an air quality alert for the Pacific Northwest with those ongoing wildfire smoke occurring in that area, and then the western parts of New Mexico underneath a flood watch as we head throughout your day today. Now, looking at your rainfall outlook, looking at a low risk for excessive rainfall, especially across the Midwest, the southwest corner of the U.S., and a little bit of that across the southeast parts of the U.S., with a slight risk also for portions of South Carolina stretching into the eastern parts of Georgia. So, watching that for your Sunday. Now, looking back to that wildfire smoke, we do have some ongoing fires. This is as of right now. You can see any areas where you see a little fire symbol is where we have the fires ongoing. So if you are in this area, I would be on high alert, as unfortunately these fires are spreading fast, especially with these ongoing wildfires taking place, and that's mainly due to the strong upper level jet, which is winds moving aloft, sending strong winds into this region, and with the hot air in place, and with this air not seeing much rain in the last about several weeks, unfortunately, that's what's led to this pattern taking place, and we will see that occur as we head even into the early part of this week, as this upper level jet remains in place for much of these areas. And speaking of that, looking at your smoke forecast for this evening, Washington, Oregon, Idaho, Montana need to be on high alert for those very smoky conditions, and especially for those fires, as anywhere in the pinks is where it's going to be the strongest, and that's where you'll most likely run into some of those isolated fires, especially out in rural areas, which we may see that as we head throughout your day today. So if you are in these areas, I would be on high alert and be prepared to evacuate, especially if the wildfires start to get a little more noticeable in your area. But outside of that, Midwest looking even hazier today, as unfortunately, with some of the smoke taking place out to our west, the upper level jet will be sending some of these smoky, hazy skies towards the Midwest, and as a result, the skies will be turning a little bit more milky today in the Midwest. So not necessarily the orange skies like you will be seeing out in the Pacific Northwest, or like you saw last week, even with some of those fires. Looking much more at just some slightly hazy skies for you guys as we head throughout your day on Sunday, as that upper level jet will be positioned right over the Midwest, sending some of those smoky skies to you guys as we head throughout your day on your Sunday. Now, looking at your temperature forecast for today, looking quite hot and humid, temperatures in the hundreds, 210 across the plains. So a hot day for you guys. Temperatures in the Midwest in the 90s to low 100s as well. So hot, humid day for you guys too. The Northeast looking quite cold. Temperatures in the 70s to 80s. The Pacific Northwest temperatures 80s, especially in the eastern parts of Washington, Oregon, some 90s in the southeastern parts of Oregon as well, and Idaho too. The Pacific Northwest, the extreme western part of it, will remain quite cool for your day today, but the southwest corner of the U.S., the very hot spot, temperatures nearing 120, especially for the southwestern corner of Arizona around I would say Temple, Texas, and even the southeastern parts of California around Death Valley. So quite a hot day for you guys. Now looking back to the severe weather setup, looking at some strong storms, especially in this green highlighted area from Sunday through Tuesday, and that's due to the ring of fire pattern that'll be taking place from today through about then. And sitting right in the middle of the country is this high pressure, which means dry sinking air, which will allow for some dry time for a lot of these areas. Still, some isolated storms may sneak into on the weaker parts of the ridge, but looking at again the strong storms being focused on this area in the dark green and of the ring of fire pattern, that does mean that well that heat ridge sitting over much of the plains and Rockies, and just outside of that, with the moisture streaming right on the edge of the ridge, that'll lead to strong storms riding from Minnesota down towards as far south as North Carolina, maybe even South Carolina, from about today through about Tuesday. So watching that very closely with this pattern, which could mean complexes of storms riding along the edge of the ridge, maybe even the potential derecho given the right conditions. So watching that very closely for your next several days. And speaking of that severe weather threat, with today already a enhanced risk for severe weather across Wisconsin, which is an area that's been hard hit so far this year. So if you're in Wisconsin, be on high alert today, looking at an enhanced risk, meaning numerous severe storms possible for you guys. The yellow indicates a scattered severe storm risk, so looking at a slightly lower threat, and then the dark green represents a lower risk for some strong storms. That's in place for areas surrounding that, even parts for the Appalachians down to the southeast, and even parts of the upper Rockies. That'll be in place for you guys for today. Looking at the main risk for what to expect, expecting a up to a 5% tornado risk across the upper parts of the Midwest, especially the northern parts of Wisconsin, where dynamics will be quite strong for this area. And looking at your damaging wind threat, quite high, up to about a 30% risk, especially across Wisconsin. But also notice the little hatched risk surrounding that. That indicates where we could have damaging winds in excess of probably 70 miles per hour. But without this hatched risk, it would have been 60 miles per hour. But since it's there, again, this does represent that we can have some significant strong winds taking place with some of these storms. And same thing with the hail risk. We could see hail up to about 2 inches, maybe larger, with some of these storms, especially indicated in the red area. That's likely to occur as we head throughout your Sunday. Now, looking at the forecast model between now and Monday morning, expecting those storms to be ongoing in parts of the Midwest, especially, and even the parts of the Mid Atlantic, the Rockies, seeing some showers and storms ongoing with that monsoonal moisture creeping up, and even the Pacific Northwest, the extreme western parts of Washington, seeing some showers today. Unfortunately, it won't quite reach eastern Washington, as again, with the upper level jets set up, it's going to keep that moisture out to the west, but hopefully we can get some of this moisture to move off to the east to again kill off some of these wildfire smoke. But other than that, active day across much of the country. Looking closer towards the Midwest, you'll see again it'll be dry to start off your day today, but by late this evening to Monday morning, look how fast those storms develop, especially across southern Illinois into Kentucky and even parts of Wisconsin. They'll be riding along at the edge of that jet, as it will bring in that severe storm threat to a lot of these areas between this evening and Monday morning. So watching that very closely. If you're in these areas, be on high alert. Make sure you have a way to get alerted about watches and warnings when they do come out, and make sure you have an action plan in case you lose power as well, like having your devices charged and having an extra set of blankets or something, especially to take shelter with the storms that do come in later on this evening. But that's it for this update. Thank you so much for watching this video and taking the time to do that as well. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to leave a like. And if you want to see more of this content, don't forget to subscribe to always get updated on whenever I drop a video on this channel. Have a great day and stay weather aware.